Hello, hello. It is Erica with Holy Rustic, and I am here to paint your February tier tray kit. So let's get started. I apologize if you can hear a lot of background noise. We are getting the patio enclosed, and I was already planning on doing this, so we're just going to roll with it and hope that it's not too bad. So this month's kit is a beautiful shamrock Irish wee bit Irish kit for your tiered tray. So perfect for St. Patty's Day. So we're just going to get started. So you have a pinch me, cute little sign, a little 3-tiered pot of gold with a shamrocks and that says shamrock, a one that says lucky, a little banner that says March, and then a little sign that says a wee bit Irish, and of course a stand to put this sign in. So I'm going to start with this pinch me sign. We're going to do, that tape is no good. So let's get some new tape. So if you're new here, what I do is I take this tape, it's already sticking to it. I fold the ends under like this, and then I set this onto my table so that I can put pieces over here that I want to paint a certain color, and this keeps them from moving around too much. So that's going to be orange. And then we're also going to do this a wee bit in orange as well. These little hearts are all going to be a yellow golden color, as is this horseshoe piece and our words that say pot of gold. So there's lots of different ways to do this. If you get overwhelmed by all the pieces, I recommend maybe just painting one little piece at a time. But if you're okay with it, I do think it's easier and a little bit faster to divide everything up into the colors that you're going to paint. And then that way you can just do all that color at once. So we're going to do the letters for our word March in a white, as well as this L and the C and the K, and these are pretty big, so they probably don't need to go on there. The letters for shamrock are going to be white. I apologize. I probably should have waited to record this, but I was hoping they weren't going to be so loud. Of course, when I go to hit record, that's when it starts getting a little loud here. All right, we're going to grab another piece of tape. All of our shamrocks are going to be green. Green, green, green. Green. This is going to be black, as is that piece. We're going to do this one's green, and then we'll do these letters in black as well. One more piece of tape here. All right, so Irish is going to be black. And we'll just move this up here so we know all of those are black. And so that's all of our little pieces. We should be good to get started. So I'm going to start with the white pieces first. Every kit that we send you includes a sponge. It's a little makeup sponge. I use the rectangle end of the sponge, dip it into your paint, and then offload over on the side of your plate or a palette so you don't have a ton of paint on your sponge when you're coming over to your letters. The sponge is just going to give you nice coverage, keep you from pushing a bunch of paint down over the sides, and it just makes it a little bit easier to paint these little pieces than trying to come in here with a paintbrush. Paintbrush tends to make them pretty messy. So that's why I like to use the sponge. And I'm just dabbing straight up and down on top of these pieces. They're definitely going to need 2 coats. Since I'm doing these pieces over here in yellow, I'm also going to give them a coat of white so that my golden yellow will really pop. Otherwise, I'm probably going to need a couple coats of that golden yellow. So this will just give me a nice little underbase. So we'll give them just a quick coat, and then we'll come back over. If you're doing thin coats, this paint's going to dry pretty fast for you. And thin coats are always better than thick coats. There's no need to put all the paint on there at once. Each time I dip into the paint, I'm just kind of tapping over on the side to offload some of that excess paint that's on my sponge so I'm not overdoing it with the paint. All right, so there are our white pieces. We'll just set those over to the side. Let's go ahead and do this golden yellow. So it's kind of a goldish color. Same thing with the sponge. And we're just coming in and tapping kind of straight up and down and dabbing. And see how that gold really pops now because we gave it that white base. Give that just a second to dry and come back with one more quick coat. All right. This wee bit and the word pinch are going to be orange. So I'm just going to go right into my orange here and paint those pieces up. Just a nice little pop of a different color. It's pretty close to the same as that gold, so you could do all of these in gold if you want, but I like the orange with the St. Patty's Day stuff. All right, so there's that. We'll set those to the side. All of these are green. Oh, I forgot to do these. Dang it. All right, let's do those real quick. So when you're done with your sponge and you're ready to move to a different color, that's not like I moved from the white to the yellow and then the yellow to the orange, but now I need to go back to white. So I'm going to clip the end of that sponge and I can just keep using it over and over until I have no sponge left. So as long as you're going into a color that it's not going to matter, you can just keep going. But I want this white to be white, and so I'm going to need to clip that sponge. So we're going to do the L and the C and the K for our word luck with this sponge. And you'll see these kits print up pretty easy. Like I said, I know sometimes it can be a little overwhelming when you first open the box and there's so many pieces, but just start somewhere. You can start by dividing them out like I did in the beginning, painting all the colors at once, or you can do just one sign at a time. Sometimes that's easier if you're feeling a little overwhelmed by all the pieces. And these tiered tray kits do tend to have a lot of pieces, and they're usually small pieces. So sometimes it's a little much to do them like this, but you've got your inspiration photo there, so you can use that as a guide to see what you want to do in what colors. All right, so there's our L and our C and our K. We will set those to the side. While we've got this white on our sponge, we're going to do this background for our shamrocks. It's a little bit louder than I anticipated it being. We're going to do this. We can do these with a brush, actually. Let's just set those over there. Okay. Give this another coat. I'm going to give this just a quick dry. And then we'll do a second coat of white. Okay, we're going to dip into our green and do our shamrocks all with the green on our sponge. And then these pieces will all be that black color. And we'll go ahead and paint our stand black as well. So these two just stack up, so I only need to paint one of them. And now we can start painting our other pieces. So we're going to do this one and this one in white with our brush. We're not worried about these engraved lines because they have 3D pieces that are going to go over top of them. Remember, thin coats are better than thick coats. So I'm just going to let these dry real quick and then go ahead and come in with a second coat. Okay, so while those are drying, we're going to go ahead and do the shamrock piece and the March banner with our green. Our luck sign is going to be black. And then the sign that says pot of gold is going to be orange. So that's the basis of all our pieces. Now we can come in and do just a little bit of distressing or details. So I'm taking my sponge with very little bit of paint and the black, and I'm going to come around the edge of this white sign piece. Just barely pulling that sponge around the edge just to give us just a little bit of a shadow there. Make this look just a little more interesting. I'm going to do the same thing to this piece, which gets the shamrocks. And then on our sign that says luck, I'm just going to dry brush a little bit of white here. All right, and now we are ready to glue. So inside your kit, you're gonna have a bottle of craft glue. It's gonna look like this. When you're using this glue, you wanna remember just a dot, not a lot, and you're gonna run that glue right up against your pieces, almost like you're putting on lipstick. It's not a quick set glue. It does take a good 24 hours to completely set. So make sure you let all your pieces lay flat before you set them up so that your glue dries completely. So I'm just gonna glue all these together. when you put this 3-tiered piece together, you want to make sure that you leave that little lip at the bottom so that it can slide in and out of the base. And there you have it. There is your February tiered tray all ready for St. Patrick's Day. You can finish it out with any little finishing details that you want to add, such as highlights or dots. I did not paint this stand. I left it. I like to just be able to set those together and use them for different trays, so I don't usually paint those. If you have any questions, feel free to let us know, and we can't wait to see your finished product. Have a great day.